Deep in the heart of the Evernight woods, where no human dares to tread, lies a hidden laboratory unlike any the world has seen. Constructed within the hollow of an ancient tree, its walls glow with pulsating blue veins of pure magic, casting eerie light on the intricate glass vials and bubbling cauldrons of strange liquids. The mastermind behind this lab is Suris, a rogue fairy scientist, exiled from the mystical realm for her radical theories. Unlike other fairies who nurture nature and grant wishes, Suris has a different dream: to merge fairy and human blood into a new, superior species. One that would be immune to mortal frailties yet unbound by fairykind's limitations. For centuries, she has abducted humans, selecting only the strongest and most resilient, injecting them with potions distilled from fairy dust, enchanted roots, and the essence of magical creatures. Many failed, melting into pools of unrecognizable flesh, withering into dust, or vanishing in horrifying flashes of light. But she was close, so close to success. Then came Subject 31. Unlike the others, he was different. Resilient, adaptable, a lone wanderer, taken from the outskirts of civilization, where his absence would go unnoticed. His real name was irrelevant to Suris, he was simply her latest masterpiece in the making. For days, she observed him strapped to an enchanted stone slab, injecting him with precise doses of her newest formula. His body convulsed violently, veins glowing with unnatural colors. The changes were slow at first, his fingernails sharpened, his irises flickered like shifting galaxies, his muscles pulsed with eerie energy. Unlike her previous failures, his body wasn't rejecting the fairy essence. It was absorbing it, and that made him dangerous. Subject 31 was no longer merely human. He could feel it in his bones, in the strange energy crackling beneath his skin. His senses sharpened, he could see in the dark, hear the whisper of leaves, feel the pulse of life in everything around him. But with these gifts came something else. The hunger. At first, it was manageable. A strange craving for raw energy, for the aura of living things. Suris studied him relentlessly, documenting his every reaction. She should have seen it coming, but she was too caught up in her pride. One night, as she hovered over him, adjusting the restraints on his arms, something inside him snapped. His body twitched violently, muscles expanding, bones shifting beneath his skin. His once human face stretched, contorted, as sharp fangs erupted from his gums. His fingers elongated into clawed talons, his veins pulsing with an unnatural glow. And then, with a single, terrible movement, he broke free. Suris barely managed to dart backward as he lunged, his growl a guttural mixture of pain and hunger. He clawed at the stone walls, leaving deep gashes. His transformation was no longer gradual, it was spiraling out of control. But to Suris, it was beautiful. Instead of fear, Suris felt something unexpected: attachment. She had created him, nurtured his evolution, and watched him rise from mere humanity into something beyond mortal comprehension. Where others saw a monster, she saw a miracle. She refused to let him die like her previous failures. She modified the formula, slowing his transformation so his mind wouldn't be completely lost to the mutation. She spoke to him, trained him, studied him like a mother guiding her child. Over the weeks, he learned to control his impulses, to restrain his hunger, to move with purpose instead of instinct. She taught him to wield his newfound power, to blend into shadows, to harness the magic flowing through his veins. But she knew the truth. He wasn't a stable creation. Every night, she watched him struggle as the mutations continued to spread. His once human skin hardened into a mixture of scales and glowing sigils. His voice deepened, distorted, like two beings speaking at once. His body pulsed with barely contained power, a storm waiting to be unleashed. And worst of all, his humanity was slipping away. Yet she couldn't bear to stop. Suris's obsession blinded her to the warnings. The fairy realm had already discovered her experiments. A council of elder fairies gathered, deciding that her creations were an abomination against nature. They could not allow this hybrid monstrosity to exist. One stormy night, the lab was ambushed. A battalion of fairy warriors, clad in silver armor and wielding weapons forged from stardust, descended upon the lab like divine retribution. Suris fought desperately, flinging spells, weaving barriers, but she was outnumbered. They came for Subject 31. He watched from the shadows as the warriors stormed the lab, his monstrous form trembling. His creator, his mother, the only one who ever saw his potential, was losing. And something deep inside him snapped. With an earth-shattering roar, he unleashed his full power. His body swelled with unchecked energy, wings of raw shadow bursting from his back. His claws elongated, his eyes now pure void. He ripped through the warriors like paper, his movements too fast, too powerful for them to comprehend. The ground shook with his wrath, the air burned with his energy. This was no longer a mere experiment. This was evolution. The battle left nothing but ruin. The warriors lay broken, their magic shattered. The fairy realm was in horror. And Surus, she stood before him, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from pride. "You are the future," she whispered, gazing up at her creation. But then, something unexpected happened. He spoke, not in growls or roars, but in a voice that was both human and something else entirely. "No, I am something you cannot control." And with that, he turned away. Surus reached for him, but her hands passed through his form as if he were already fading. He was ascending, evolving beyond even what she had imagined. His body dematerialized into pure energy, a formless entity that no longer belonged to this world. He was no longer bound by fairy magic or human weakness. He had become something new, a legend, a god, and as he vanished into the unknown, Surus felt an emptiness consume her. She had created the perfect being, and lost him forever. In the years that followed, whispers of the vanished hybrid spread across realms. Some said he still roamed the edges of existence, neither fairy nor human, but something in between. Others believed he had become a cosmic force, watching from the void beyond reality. And as for Surus, she continued her work, because if she had done it once, she could do it again.